Good morning, my beautiful listeners. Good morning, Malawites and Malabrises. Good morning, Nigeria. Good morning, Calabar. Good morning to you listening to the sound of my voice. You're tuned into Unical Radio International 103.5 FM. And of course, we're still basking in the euphoria as we just concluded the 50th anniversary of this great citadel. But now, we love to carry things like this on our head. And so we'll be bringing you exclusive and special interview sessions this morning. It is known as the Unical at 50 special interview series. And yes, we have a very important guest. But don't worry, don't be in a hurry. I will introduce my guest at the right time. Well, first of all, you're listening to the voice of Michelle Idoaset. Time check is 3 minutes past the hour of 11. And so, be ready to meet my guest after this short break. And welcome from that very short break. You're still on to Unical Radio International 103.5 FM. And of course, I said before we went on that break that I have someone very, very special. Today we have the honor of welcoming a truly distinguished academic, a towering figure in the field of physiology. I do not want to be the one doing the talking. Okay, so I would love you to listen to this very, very special citation. And after that, you and I will meet our guest. But for now, do well to listen to this citation.
For the very best in music, information, entertainment and education, stay locked onto Unical Radio International 103.5 FM.
Professor Eme Efiom Osim is a professor of neurophysiology and gastrointestinal physiology. He was appointed graduate assistant in the Department of Physiology in University of Calabar in 1977 after he obtained his Bachelor of Science degree in Physiology in University of Ibadan, Nigeria in 1976. He completed his Master of Science and Doctor of Philosophy programs in University College, London, United Kingdom in April 1983 and was upgraded to Lecturer 2 in University of Calabar in May 1983. He rose through the ranks and became Professor of Physiology in University of Calabar in October 1998. He had previously served as Associate Professor and Professor of Physiology in 1997 in universities of Zimbabwe and Malawi during his leave of absence. He has won several scholarships and awards, including Police Scholarship for his secondary education, Southeastern State Scholarship for his first degree education in the University of Ibadan. He also won University of Calabar Scholarship and Wellcome Trust Scholarship for his Master of Science and Doctor of Philosophy Studies in the United Kingdom. He has considerable teaching, research and administrative experience. He has to his credit 6 published books and 215 full-length originals research articles in reputable journals, with 105 of them in Scopus and nearly 3,000 citations in Google Scholar. Professor Osim is the coordinating author of his 6th book titled Fundamentals of Human Physiology, written on behalf of the federal government agency Tertiary Fund. He introduced Master of Science and Doctor of Philosophy programs in Physiology Department and was Chief Supervisor to 75% of all academic staff with Doctor of Philosophy in the Department of Physiology. He has successfully supervised 31 Master of Science and 53 Doctor of Philosophy students. He is still supervising and teaching postgraduate students. He established a functional laboratory in neurobehavior research in the Faculty of Basic Medical Sciences and has opened linkages with Dalhousie University in Canada and University College London, where some staff can spend 6 months to 1 year free of charge for their researches. His current researches are in neurobehavior. Professor Osim and his mentee and former Master of Science and Doctor of Philosophy student, Professor Sunday Bisson, were awarded a patent by the President of Nigeria, Muhammadu Buhari, for an invention for the reversal of Alzheimer's disease in a mouse model of the disease. Professor Osim assisted Professor Bisson during his Master of Science and Doctor of Philosophy programs to be awarded research grants worth over £40,000, which led to the award of a patent to 2 of them. Also following his Master of Science and Doctor of Philosophy researches, Professor Besson was awarded International Brain Research Organization John Unical Fellowship, and he is now called a John G. Unical Fellow of International Brain Research Organization. Professor Osim has also been awarded Fellow of Physiological Society of Nigeria, Fellow of Nigerian Society of Experimental Biologists, and Fellow of Neuroscience Society of Nigeria for his meritorious services in human physiology. Administratively, Professor Osim has been head of Department of Physiology for 13 and a half years, Dean of Faculty of Basic Medical Sciences for 2 terms, member of University of Calabar Government Council for 2 terms. He was also Dean and head of Okuku campus of Cross River University of Technology during his sabbatical leave. He was also Deputy Provost in the College of Medical Sciences in Unical for 2 years. Since 2012, he has been serving as Director, Intellectual Property and Technology Transfer Office in Unical. Owing to his impressive academic and administrative performances in 2009, he was awarded a Certificate of Commendation for Excellent Performance of Duty by Senate and Council of this university. Recently, on 13th of March 2025, Professor E. Osim was also one of the recipients of the Meritorious Service Award by this university. More recently, on the 22nd of March 2025, Professor Osim's achievements were crowned by the award of the title of Emeritus Professor by University of Calabar. In Cross River State, he has been chairman of 3 Category A boards, including the boards of Cross Lines and Rescue Insurance. Nationally, he has been General Secretary, Physiological Society of Nigeria for 2 terms, President of Physiological Society of Nigeria for half a decade, Council Member of African Association of Physiological Sciences for 8 years, Vice President of Neuroscience Society of Nigeria for 4 years, and is currently Chairman, Board of Trustees of Physiological Society of Nigeria and Chairman, Board of Trustees of Neuroscience Society of Nigeria. He has served as a member, Presidential Visitation Team to University of Port Harcourt and Chairman of several accreditation teams to various universities. Professor Osim hails from Usumotong in Abi, local government area of Cross River State of Nigeria, and is an elder of the Presbyterian Church of Nigeria. He is happily married to Dr. Stella Eme Osim, an associate professor and head of department in the Department of Religious and Cultural Studies. They have 4 delightful children and 5 lovely grandchildren.
For the very best in music, information, entertainment and education, stay locked onto Unical Radio International. 103.5.
That was quite an impressive, very impressive bio. But ladies and gentlemen, it is my absolute privilege to introduce Professor Eme Efiom Osim, Emeritus Professor of Physiology at the University of Calabar. Prof, it is indeed an honor to have you with us. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for inviting me.
Oh, thank you too for joining us. Listening to your bio and the citation so far, man, I just wish that someday I would get to this level, but that was quite an incredible, it has shown that you've actually achieved many milestones and it is worth celebrating.
Thank you very much.
So it's it's a new week, and then of course I love to ask my listeners. I also love to ask my guests, what is your energy for for the new week? It's already Tuesday. How would you on a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate your energy for the week?
Well, my energy is still fairly maximum because I enjoy the work I do. I enjoy teaching and research. I don't know what other job I could have loved to do apart from this teaching and research, but that I do in the university. I enjoy talking to students. Yes.
Awesome.
So
awesome.
I'm still fairly high in energy.
Okay. Prof says he's fairly high in energy.
High, yes.
Okay,
It may
Prof.
not be as before, but I'm still happy to come.
Abby, it's great. Okay, Prof. We've had but this is what we say. We want to hear from the horse's mouth. We want to hear one-on-one. So let's get into deep conversations. Well, first of all, we're going to start from your early days at the University of Calabar. First of all, the university, as you know, has grown exponentially over the years. Exponentially over the years. And can you describe what the early years of the University of Calabar were like in terms of academic offerings, infrastructures, student life? How did you experience the initial challenges and growth of the university? So let's start with that, Prof.
Well, thank you very much. I've been in University of Calabar for 48 years now.
Wow.
I'm one of the longest serving staff in the University of Calabar. I've not seen somebody who has done 49 years. I know that 3 of us have done 48 years. Prof. G, Prof. Unical, and myself, I have not seen 49. Maybe I'd like to see. So we have come a long, long way. And the University of Calabar has made tremendous strides since then. I came in 1977 as graduate assistant. Graduate assistant, as you know, is the lowest rung of the lectureship cadre.
Yeah.
Yes, after graduate assistant, you go to assistant lecturer, then lecturer 2, lecturer 1, senior lecturer, associate professor. So I came in. And in those days, things were done a little bit differently from what they are done today. You see, and that's because in those days there was a lot of money in Unical. These days, yes, there was a lot of money.
Okay.
And Unical was a campus of University of Nigeria and Nsukka.
Sure.
Yes, it used to be. But in 1975, they decided to stay on their own and become University of Calabar. No more campus of University of Nigeria and Nsukka. Yes. And but then their lecturers were still University of Nigeria and Nsukka lecturers. So in 1977, they decided to get their lecturers massively.
Okay.
So they advertised. In those days, you had to advertise for lecturers for any appointments you make. They advertised. I was doing youth service in Sokoto, 76 to 77, and I saw their advert. So I applied. Like I told you, there was money in those days.
Yes.
And so they invited us for an interview. And if you came, you'll be given your transport money back.
Wow.
On that same day.
Wow.
You sign, you get it. So we were interviewed and were given appointment letters as graduate assistants. Graduate assistants. And I think then we were about 32 in number. 32. Yes, we were 32 in number. In different fields. At that time, University of Calabar was a 4-faculty university. 4 faculties. Faculty of Science, Faculty of Education, Faculty of Arts, and Faculty of Social Sciences. But I was employed to serve in medical school, which was to start after a year, that is in 78.
Yeah.
So there was no medical school in 77. So, about 32 of us were there. We were helping in various faculties. And they promised to send us to anywhere we wanted to go for our master's and PhD. They had money. So, and they promised to give us what they call ESTA code. ESTA code meant that you go to study anywhere, whatever fees their sponsor has to pay will be paid in full, and they will give you enough money to survive there in full. But back home, their salary will be running. and your promotion will also be going on. Esther could. And they promised us. At that time, the Vice Chancellor was called Professor Emmanuel Ayadele. Very well loved. Was bombastic. He could speak grammar.
He was quite the first,
oh my
right?
God, that very first was the very first Vice Chancellor, substantive Vice Chancellor. There was no Deputy Vice Chancellor.
Okay.
There was no. But he was using the deans in the various faculties, and the person he used most at that time was the Dean of Arts, Professor Okonuya. Was one he used, but he was not really a Deputy Vice Chancellor, because he was using him to deputize for him. So that's how we were. We were giving promise Esther could, but somewhere along the line, after a few months, they said it would not be Esther could again, that it will be Unical terms of sponsorship.
Terms of sponsorship.
Yes, at that time there were no lecturers, and we came from different parts of the country. People from the north, from the west, from the east, and all that. So our colleagues, most of them were not happy. 16 of them left, resigned. So we were left with 16 only.
We're angry.
Yes, they were angry. Because you have changed Esther Good to Unical terms of sponsorship. No, they left. So 16 of us stayed back. I am from this state, so where am I going to? Somewhere along the line, because I told you they had money.
Yeah.
They invited the Ayadele he didn't like to be too economical with funds. He invited scholars from all over the world, different parts of the world. And they all came to Calabar, all those white men and women. And they interacted with the university. And when they came, he told us to come, say that professor is from University of London, go there, let me interview you and give you admission. You, Wisconsin, go there, and so on and so forth. That's how we were placed after interview. Because we had to go to where they were lodged in Metropolitan Hotel at that time. Yes, they're called Transcorp or something.
I think it's back to Metro.
Very good. So we went there, they interviewed, they looked at their papers and so on. They gave me master's program. And the person that, the professor that recommended me to University College London was the Dean of Basic Medical Sciences, called Professor D.W. James. Yes, and I didn't know that where he was sending me to was the best department of physiology in the whole world. The best. There is no department of physiology in the whole world that has won Nobel Prize 3 times.
Wow.
And that's where I went. So all those things I used to read, I saw some of the people there. I said, wonderful. People who when they are teaching you, they don't teach you what is in the textbook.
Yeah.
They're teaching you what they are doing. Because, yes, they're teaching you their researches. And so that's where I did my master's and PhD. And I was happy. And my PhD, I impressed them. I presented papers in conferences. I was the only black person there. University College is truly a white man's university. I was the only non-white.
Maybe not by skin, because by skin you actually blended with them.
Well, I don't know. I don't know about that. So I presented papers in Oxford, presented papers in King's College London, and so on. So and I got scholarship there again called Wellcome Trust to add to what Unical gave me. And so I was very lucky.
That's great.
Yes, so that's how I came back early 83. Early 83, about April. So I was upgraded to lecturer 2 in May 83.
May 83.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
That's quite good.
Yes.
Well done.
And I was due to be promoted to professorship in 1995, but I left to Southern African countries, Zimbabwe and so on. That's how my promotion to professor was withheld.
They wanted you to come
They
back.
wanted me to come back. They withheld my promotion till 1998. So I lost years, but no problem. I still had experience of seeing what happens in other African countries, especially in South Africa and even in Zimbabwe. Because Zimbabwe used to be called Rhodesia. They have a wonderful university. And the vice chancellor there was a white man, Professor Hill. And almost half of the staff were white people. So I learned a lot from them.
Wow.
They did not economize at all. They had everything that you needed.
Awesome, Prof.
Yes.
Okay, thank you for taking us through your early years in the university, and also how the university offered you, opportunities to study out and all of that. And now let's take a little journey to your personal journey right now. You've had a remarkable academic and professional journey. You've also transitioned from Associate Prof and Professor of Physiology at the Universities of Zimbabwe, Malawi, to several key leadership roles at the University of Calabar, including Head of Department of Physiology, Deputy Provost of the College of Medical Sciences, Dean of the Faculty of Basic Medical Sciences, and the Director of the Intellectual Property and Technology Transfer Office, among others. Now, I would like you to share more about this journey and how these experiences have shaped your career.
Well, it was not easy at the onset because when I came back with a PhD, there was only one person with a PhD in physiology, and that was Professor Kevin Etta, who later became Vice Chancellor.
Okay.
And so who got PhD in physiology. So it was not easy, but Professor Kevin Etta was not steady. Sometimes he left to Malaysia, sometimes he left to other universities and so on. And also, of course, he became Vice Chancellor. So the whole thing, and even left after he became Vice Chancellor here to CRUTEC to become Vice Chancellor and so on, and left to other universities. So the whole thing was on my shoulders. It was on my shoulder. It wasn't easy at all. So I just stood firm and I really worked hard. But my luck was I had people I recruited who were willing to work. They were willing to work. We worked and worked and worked. I started the MSc program in physiology. I started the PhD program in physiology. That is how I was able to supervise many students in MSc and PhD. In fact, I have supervised successfully 53 PhD students. Supervised successfully 31 MSc students because I was alone, and I had people who wanted to study, people coming from different parts of the country to Unical. And even some universities outside Calabar who wanted me to come and supervise their students, like Abia State University, like UNIU. I had people there as supervised for their PhDs. And so that's why I was able to get 53 successful supervisees. Yes, supervisees. And I had to really work myself out. And I made sure that I attracted grants too. Like I have a student called Professor Bison, who was very hardworking. I brought a white man from Canada here. But when he came and gave lectures and so on, I brought him to Calabar. He gave us a talk and so on and so forth. We applied for a grant to work in his lab in Canada. A grant was given for about 40,000 British pounds. Pounds sterling.
That's a lot.
That's a lot of money today.
Yes.
Well, so he went there and did everything. And what he discovered, we had a patent. Because what we did was to try to get a cure for memory loss.
Wow.
Alzheimer's disease. You know, we found out that this memory loss, Alzheimer's disease, was more common with the wise than us. at the age of 65 in the white world, you have more persons having that Alzheimer's disease than in amongst Africans or Nigerians. So we started wondering what could cause a higher incidence amongst the whites and a lower incidence amongst this. So I told my boy, please go to your village, get some herbs. Let us look at some of these herbs they use in treating madness, because some madness too goes with memory loss. That's how we stumbled onto the herb that could treat memory loss in animals, in mice. So we used that. He got his PhD in that. We patented it, got a patent from the President Buhari, and so on and so forth. So I have a patent. Yes, I have a patent and so on. So that's I had people who were willing to work.
To do the work.
Yes, and I was also willing to work with them. So, but these days it's difficult because one, we don't know whether we have the money. The money, yes. The money to
what happened to the money? Because you said that Unical had money.
They had money at that time.
So what happened to the money now?
I don't know. I should ask because it seems Nigeria is poorer now.
Wow.
At that time, they gave us car loans. We just worked for a few months. We're giving car loans. Brand new cars.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
And you had to finish paying in 4 years. But no car loans again.
No car loans any longer.
No car loans. Nobody will give you any car loan.
A lot has changed.
And whatever you apply, in fact, there were research grants. If you write a good research and you want to apply for Senate research grant, you are given. But now it doesn't happen. We had more money then, and money had value.
True.
There was a time, this year, 1 naira was almost equivalent to 1 British pound. There was a time 1 naira was 2 US dollars. Now, do you know that 1,600 naira is $1?
Yeah, true.
So then we had money at that time. And so I really worked hard, and the students that worked with me really worked very hard.
So
and many of them are professors now.
Wow.
Many are
impressive.
Professors. That time, like I told you when I started, it was Professor who was off and on, but I was always there.
Yeah.
And I was the only PhD. Okay. Today, in the University of Calabar, the Department of Physiology, we are now 8 professors.
8 professors.
8 professors.
That's quite.
And all of them were trained by me. Yes.
Indeed.
Yes.
Oh, well done, Prof.
Yes.
Well done.
I supervised them.
Well done, Prof.
Yes.
Okay, still looking at your personal journey, I also want to find out, over the years, your groundbreaking research has profoundly impacted Unical and the global academic community. So can you share with us some of the most rewarding aspects of your research journey, and what contributions are you most proud of?
Yes, there are several, but the one that we are still on now is looking for the elusive cure of Alzheimer's disease.
Okay.
Memory loss, there are different types of diseases that cause memory loss. The most common is what you call Alzheimer's disease. Yes. Even Parkinson's disease can give you memory loss, and so on and so forth. So stroke can also give you memory loss, but the most common is Alzheimer's disease, where people forget and their personality changes and so on and so forth. So that is the most rewarding research that we have up to date. We started now, we went to animals. My boy took this drug to Canada, the herb to Canada.
Yeah.
In Canada, they had mice that were given Alzheimer's disease. The white people gave them Alzheimer's disease, memory loss mice. Now our herb that I will harvested in Calabar,
Yeah.
ground them into powder, send them by DHL to him, reverse abnormal disease in those mice in Canada.
Wow.
So we published that, and he got his PhD out of it.
Wow.
So the problem we're having now, we want to apply it to humans.
Okay.
So we started clinical trials. We want to apply to humans. We want to do what they call clinical trials. You start from a few patients, maybe 10, you increase to 30, you increase to some hundreds. That is where the problem is. Where do you find Alzheimer's patients? They are not very common. And if they are common, you have to do a lot of traveling. And they may not want to take the herbs. Right now, it's only 2 or 3 that we are working on, but we need more than 10. So we are now on that research to apply our findings in mice to humans.
Okay.
We have started with clinical trials. See whether what we found in mice can be extrapolated to humans. That's what makes it interesting. And we are working on it. It's gradual because we cannot get enough patients.
True.
So that is where we are now.
That's quite a journey, quite a history.
And I have a patent for it.
Yes, Prof. For the benefit of our listeners,
Yes,
because some persons, what is patent? Please enlighten us more.
Okay, the patent is, many people will come and say, I have 100 papers. Oh, I have 100 papers. Ask them, how do those papers benefit mankind?
Okay.
You have 100 papers, so what? Does it improve my life?
Okay.
How do I benefit from them?
Yeah. Okay.
Can your discovery be commercialized so that you gain financially or health-wise or something? So if your research can benefit mankind, improve health, or just benefit mankind, that it can be patented. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
Yes. Is it commercializable? Can you sell the product so that you make money for yourself and so on? You derive benefit from it. So those are patentable research. So if my research works on humans, it's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. Now, if you have a patent, there are many advantages. Even for the university. The university is rated higher than universities that don't have patents. We have about 4 patents in Unical. And me and my boy, we have patents. Me and my boy, Professor Bison. There are other 2 persons with patents. One faith praise and so on have patents. So patents means that you are doing some research that can benefit mankind, and you can commercialize.
Okay.
Yes, and so on.
Wow. Okay, thank you. Well, to you, our dear listeners, you're still listening to the voices of Michelle Idonset and also our Prof Emeritus. Of course, I don't know, I feel so delighted, calling you that.
Yes, I like it. Well, Emeritus or Prof Emeritus. Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Now, what that simply means, because people keep asking me.
Prof, I'm even going there.
Okay,
yes,
go
I'm going there because even me too, I'm very inquisitive. I'm very, very inquisitive. But before we head towards that part, I also want to find out, the academic growth and Unical's development.
Okay.
Over the years, we have witnessed the growth and development of the university. Yes. How have you seen Unical evolved, particularly in terms of its academic programs, research, and overall institutional structure?
Okay. No, it's wonderful, like I've told you. Professor Etta and myself were the only professors in physiology, but today we have 8 professors in physiology. That is growth. That is tremendous growth. And do you know that at the time we were about 4 or 5 lecturers in physiology? Today, we are 33 lecturers in physiology. 33. 33. That's enormous. And so on. And there was a time we had only 10 students doing physiology, BSc. Today, we have over 100 students doing physiology. And so on. Everything has, blossomed, and there's a lot of growth in Unical, a lot of growth. But unfortunately, we don't have money. A lot of the equipment have broken down.
Oh.
Yeah, some experiments are no more done because we cannot replace the equipment, very expensive equipment, and so on. There is no money to buy some equipment.
Well, that's the sad part.
Yeah, that's the sad part.
Yeah, but at least the fun part of it is that there is growth. Because history has it that, when the University of Calabar started as an offshoot from the University of Nsukka, it started with about 877 students and the likes, and just few lecturers. But today, like you said, we have about 100 and a whole lot, and then about 8 professors in the Department of Physiology. So that's like a massive growth. Yes. Okay, Prof. Still, now let's go towards your reflections on your award. Now, in March 2025, the University of Calabar conferred you the title of Emeritus Professor during its 50th anniversary celebrations, recognizing your significant contribution to the institution. Could you share your thoughts on receiving this honor and what it signifies for you personally and professionally?
It's a very good question. I hope I know I have all the answers for you concerning Professor Emeritus. Okay. What I know about Professor Emeritus is retired professors that are being recalled to continue to give their service to their department and universities. Okay. Don't go. What you are doing for us, we like it. Come and continue to do it. Okay. That's Professor Emeritus. They retain you for your services. You still have your office, you still have the secretaries and things to that. And maybe until you are tired. In some universities, it's so very clear. The conditions are very clear, like Ibadan, Lagos, and so on. Until you are tired, and if you are giving a service, you continue. Okay. So on. And they have honorarium for you, or even a salary for you, as long as you are providing service. But more importantly, it is an honor for you to be asked to continue to stay and provide a service. It's a big honor. The name Emeritus attached to you, that title is also a big honor. And you have to justify it. Stay and develop the place, develop the people around you. I see it as an honor, and I see it as something that makes you to even work harder, not just be called Professor Emeritus by mouth. They are not contributing anything. Okay. Yeah, so I am still supervising, I'm still teaching. I've taught today, I taught yesterday, and so on.
And it's a continue
and
like
I
that.
love teaching. I don't know what I would have done if I wasn't a lecturer.
Wow.
Yes. I know there is no money there, but it gives me pleasure to interact with students. It gives me pleasure.
Awesome.
And that's why I asked my wife to come into the field.
Wow. You had to drag her in.
Yes, she's actually a professor now and head of Department of Religious and Cultural Studies. Yes.
That's good. I would say power couples there.
Yes.
Of course. Okay. Still on this, Prof, I have always wanted, like I said, I'm a very curious person. I know there's associate prof, there's prof itself. Yes. But what is that particular thing you need to do to attain the heights of Prof Emeritus?
Yes. Prof Emeritus, I stumbled into a document given to me by my former dean of faculty, who certainly was my PhD student. Even though he came from anatomy, I still supervised him because there's a thin line between anatomy and physiology. Physiology is the functional part. Yeah. Anatomy is the structural part. So they are related. When you know the structure, you know the function. So if you are teaching the function, you have to teach the structure as well. So he gave me the document. It was in a draft form produced by this university about the things that qualify somebody to be also emeritus. And I saw there how many students, how many PhDs have you turned up?
Okay.
And then they were suggesting 16 or more, 16, a minimum of 16. But I saw that I had about 53 PhDs supervised successfully.
Wow.
And I saw that I had supervised 31 MScs successfully.
Wow.
And then also I saw in that document the number of good papers, good publications. Those that are in Thomson Reuters, those that are in Scopus, and so on. And they were talking about minimum of 60. And but I know I had overall 215 publications, and then the Scopus was 105 Scopus. And then they talked about citation. If you have publications, are people citing you?
Oh.
So I had almost 3,000 citations and so on and so forth. Apart from publications and supervision, they went into other areas like what other outstanding thing have you done for the university? For instance, have you got grants?
Yeah. Okay.
Yes. And I remember that my boy, before he went to Canada to study, we applied for a grant and were awarded a grant of 40,000 British pounds. Which, so they want to see grants, and I saw in that document grants. So I put that down. And then that document said some other thing that is outstanding that you have done, which can be scored. And I remember that I have a patent.
Okay.
I'm one of the 4 people that have patents in the University of Calabar. It will be other things, but patent is outstanding.
Okay.
So I put that down and so on. So about 5 or 6 criteria, all they are looking for. What is the contribution to knowledge that has uplifted University of Calabar as well as yourself as an academic? Have you touched lives where you are working, and so on and so forth? So there are many criteria that you have to pass through before they award you a Professor Emeritus. I just listed about 4 or 5 of them.
Yes, and this is actually quite impressive. You know,
yes.
I know what you said. They should keep calling you that because this is proud moment.
Yes, it keeps you happy now because it reminds you what Professor Emeritus means. That Professor, don't go home, stay here. You know what it is.
Professor, don't go
home, stay with us.
Okay.
See your office, stay there. Don't go. If somebody tells you don't go, it means he likes you. Not
true.
That's what emeritus means.
Okay, now we are in the light, so definitely I think I'll be working towards that. So that
Please,
someday
you can get emeritus. You can be emeritus and radio presenter.
Okay, I didn't see that coming.
Yes, it means you never go, whether you are retired or not. At the age of 65, they say stay. No.
That will be decided by my boss. Okay, Prof. This conversation is quite insightful, and yes, of course, we also want to know about the influence of Unical, or influence of Unical at 50. Now, as Unical celebrated its 50th anniversary, what reflections did you have on the university's journey? Let's start with that one first.
You see, I am very much impressed with the present Vice Chancellor.
Okay.
I didn't know that lady had so much energy and so much goodwill. She used to be my neighbor when I was living in quarters.
Wow.
I didn't ever. She has surprised me a lot. She has worked so hard, and I kept wondering, I said, if I was Vice Chancellor, will I be able to do what this lady is doing? She is very, very energetic, very strong-willed, very hardworking. She has impressed me the most. I told her, I said, after Ayandele, you are the next. Yes. Ayandele was more successful because he had more money than what we have now.
Yeah.
So he could do anything. In fact, they used to buy the things, you know that our provost then, first provost, used to buy curtains in Britain to Calabar.
Wow.
Curtains, so
Curtains.
because they have money. But now there's no money. But Professor Florence Obi has impressed me. She is very, very good. And because of that, she has put our university in the world map.
Sure.
World map.
Very true.
Yes, you can see the last the anniversary.
Yeah.
The people that came.
Sure.
I was surprised. So she has done very well. If she had the money Ayandele had, if he had that same money, Unical would have been.
Will be far with international standards.
Yes. But she has done very well. I'm impressed.
And I believe Madam is hearing you right now.
Yes. Well, I hope she hears. But I've told her. She is good. She has uplifted University of Calabar. She has made University of Calabar better than when she came in.
Wow.
You may not want to hear that, but that's the truth. Who has stayed here longer than myself? You. I don't know. I've stayed 48 years. So what are you telling me about that? I don't know. I know all of them. I know all of them. You see? So, Madam has good. I hope the person that will replace her will try as much because I am impressed.
Thank you so much, Prof. Okay, our dear listeners, you're still listening to the voice of Prof. Emeritus Osim and also to the voice of Michelle Idon. We'll be going on a very short break, but be rest assured that this duo will be coming back soon. And when we come back, we'll be looking into the future of the University of Calabar, also looking at some advice and also some final reflections. So do not touch that dial because we will be right back. Stay tuned. Welcome back from that break. Welcome back from that break, and yet we're still into insightful conversations right here at Unical 103.5 FM with none other person but a trailblazer in the person of Professor Emeritus Osim. It has been an insightful conversation, guys, and just in case you're just joining us, well, I'll say you missed a lot, but the essence I had to replay that citation so that you would know that it is not a small person that is sitting in our midst. He is indeed a trailblazer. He is indeed an incredible man, someone who has achieved many milestones and also celebrated many milestones. He has seen the beginning of the University of Calabar, and so of course he is here to tell us, or he has been telling us the story so far and the journey so far. So yes, Prof, back to you right now. We're looking at the future of the University of Calabar right now. So now, looking ahead, what do you envision for the future of Unical in terms of academic innovation, research, and its impact on the society? What role do you think or do you see for the future generations of Unical students in continuing the legacy of excellence?
Well, I think if you look at the University of Calabar, what is most surprising is the growth in various sectors of Unical. There is tremendous growth. Do you know that, like I told you, when we started, it was a 4-faculty university. But today, not only more faculties have been created, we have more colleges now. Colleges, very many colleges. In College of Medical Sciences, they want to form other colleges. So now the growth of University of Calabar is tremendous. And one thing I have found out is that the lecturers in University of Calabar have worked very hard. Our students are doing very well in various places that they work. They are doing very, very well. And wherever our students find themselves, they prove their mettle. They do well. And that is why I'm always very proud of our products.
Okay.
So we have grown a lot from 4 faculty to so many colleges, not even faculties, so many colleges.
Yeah.
Came in when there were only 4 faculties.
Yeah.
But now I think they said there are about 13 faculties or so.
About 20.
Yeah. Did you hear that? About 20.
About 20.
Because they keep growing,
Yeah.
growing. And there are many colleges now. So Unical has grown a lot. And I think it is Professor Florence Obi that has made us grown more than any other vice chancellor. Yes, because she keeps multiplying Unical as much as she can. And well, she has done her best.
Yeah.
She's leaving at the end of the year.
Yeah.
I hope the next person will try as much. I am proud of her.
Yeah.
Very proud of her.
Of course. Of course. Okay, Prof, before we let you go, now as a father, because of course you're a father and also a prof, we'll also like you to, you've seen the growth of the university firsthand. We'll also like you to give advice. What would you advise the current and prospective students of Unical? How can they take full advantage of the opportunities offered by the institution and contribute to its ongoing success?
I want to be blunt. I would like to be blunt.
Okay.
You see, what I've found that I'm not happy and I want the students to change is to come in time and start their studies.
Okay.
You won't believe that since we reopened for this semester, for about almost a month now, it's only this week that students are coming for lectures.
Wow.
Why must we lose every semester 3 to 4 weeks before we start? That I don't like, I'm not happy about.
Okay.
And I've tried to find out why it is so. Sometimes they say timetable is not out. Sometimes when the timetable is out, the students are not available. And I'm hearing that students say, some of them are saying they won't come until after Easter. I am not happy about that. So we should be more serious. The students should be more responsive. They should come in time, begin their lectures in time, so that we don't rush them. It's because we rush them that many of them fail these days. Because there's the pass rate is lower than the pass rate of in those days.
Sure.
In my department too.
Yeah.
In my department, because they don't come in time and we have to finish within the available time. So we just started lectures this week. It shouldn't be so. And I had to call the man in charge of timetable to come out and bring out the timetable, and he came last week and the timetable is out. We should bring out the timetable in time. Students should be taught in time. That is what I'm not happy about. That we don't begin our semesters in time. Yes.
Prof has given his advice. Students, this is not the Malabitic spirit at all. It is not the Malabitic spirit. The Malabitic spirit is that, see, when study start as well. So Prof is saying that he is not happy with the students because they are not making the job easier. They are not making, the work easy, because when they delay in resumption, definitely, lectures won't start as well, they'll have to fast forward it and all of that.
That is the thing. You're right. I like that.
Don't fast forward lectures.
Forward, because you still have to finish within a given time.
Yes.
And so we are rushing you, we are fast forwarding you, and you are not likely to do well. You are not likely to do well.
Prof, I believe they've heard this. I believe they have heard it. Okay, still on, final reflections. What would you, advise or the message you would like to leave with your listeners, particularly the younger generation of Unical students, and also those who will lead, to carry the university's legacy into the future?
Well, I want Unical students to continue to behave themselves well. They continue to behave themselves well. I am in the medical school.
Yes.
And to be, if you look at the whole university. I'm not being sectional.
Okay.
The medical students or paramedical students in general, medical, paramedical, they behave much better. They behave much better because their profession requires that they behave.
Yeah.
After the medical students or paramedical is the law students.
Okay.
You know, they behave themselves. So I am appealing to other sections to behave themselves.
Wow.
To behave themselves much better. When you come and see a student, you know, sometimes you want to enter your office, you see students with tattered jeans and so on, and girls with skimpy dresses and so on. You see boys necking girls, even in the front of my door. I used to get very angry with them, and so they should behave much better. But in the medical school, comparatively, they behave better than other sections. Yes, I'm telling you, I've been here 48 years. Let me see a person that will prove me wrong, because I have seen it all. I've seen it all. For 48 years, if you have not seen it, you cannot see it again. Yes. So that is that. I just want the students to behave a bit better.
Okay, so emphasis is on behavior, both on resumption
and coming time,
and
starting time,
dressing appropriately.
University opened 3 weeks ago. It's only this week that we started teaching.
Wow.
It shouldn't be so.
It shouldn't be so. Biko, no. To our dear students that is listening to us, Biko, knees on the ground. You people should resume on time so that you will not be rushed or forwarded, you know, because they still have to meet up the schedule. All right, Prof, it has actually been an enlightening session, an enlightening conversation with you today. And of course, this, conversation actually took us through because we had an incredible, a guest in our midst, a trailblazer, like I said, Professor Eme Efiom Osim. And so far, so good, Prof. From what the few things I denoted from what she said was that, one, whatever it is we're doing, we should make sure that people are benefiting from it.
Yes.
We should make sure that, people can, whether it's research, whether we are teaching, in whatever it is we're doing, let people benefit from it. From there, we can commercialize it.
Yes.
Also,
and then you have a patent.
You have a patent, of course.
Good. You are a very intelligent person. You are listening.
Also, you said that for someone to be an emeritus, it means they love you.
Yes.
So that means it doesn't just end in the academic field. Even as a broadcaster, you can be an emeritus.
Yes, you can be an emeritus.
If they love you, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Awesome.
There was a time we had even Emeritus Pope.
Wow, Emeritus Pope.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
The Pope was sick. I said, I don't want to be again. I said, since you are a Pope, you are always a Pope for life. Stay here in the Vatican.
Okay. Okay.
Yes.
So in all you do, just make sure that if you're being told to stay back, know that you're loved, know that you're accepted, and you still want you to contribute to the society, to the institution, or wherever it is you're working so much. So, Prof, it has been an amazing journey with you. Thank you so much for joining us and generously sharing your inspiring story. Your journey continues to light the path of future generations. And we are still basking in the euphoria of celebrating the university at 50. Of course, your life's work reminds us not only of where we have come from, but also of the bright future that lies ahead. So we are deeply grateful for your unwavering dedication. And to the University of Calabar, your legacy is a statement to the power of perseverance, passion, and of course, purpose. A big thank you to the Unical team, Unical Radio International team. We're saying thank you for making this edition really a success. And of course, to our audience, to you listening to the sound of our voices, we want to say thank you so much for tuning in and also to being a part of the show. We'll also continue. Always remember, we'll continue to spotlight incredible figures, trailblazers, people who have made significant changes right here in the university and beyond. We'll continue to do that. Also, do well to follow us on our social media handles. On Facebook, we're Unical Radio International. On X, we're Unical Rain 1. On Instagram, we're Unical Rain. You can do well to listen to us on yrka.org/Unical Radio International. I still remain your humble, delectable host, Michelle Idomasit. Until next time, remember to keep learning, keep growing, and keep striving for excellence. This is Unical Radio International 103.5 103.5. Do well to enjoy the rest of our broadcast.
Thank you. I am impressed.